Hey everybody, Johnny B. Good here. Welcome to the West Virginia Turnpike, somewhere near Gallagher, Kanawha County, West Virginia. Local time is 12:21, 377 miles to Norfolk, Virginia. And this video is being recorded by Sony HDR AS 300 at 1080p 30. The previous videos you've been watching was 1080p 60. The reason I'm recording this at 1080p 30 is it allows me to record at a longer video. Instead of 22 minutes and 33 seconds on 1080p 60, this will record at 35 minutes and 22 seconds, maybe. I know it's 35. And I also wanted you guys to compare the 1080p 30 to 1080p 60. So I don't know which one is. I would imagine the 1080p 60 is much better. That's the highest quality this video camera can record. But the question is, can you really notice the difference? Don't know. We are currently traveling on Interstate 64 and 77, or no, this is just 64. I rarely go east on this road. Yeah, there it is, 64 and 77. My GPS suction cup came loose. By the way, I have 3 hours and 1 minute remaining to drive before I need to take a 30-minute mandatory break. Again, let me throw this out there. It's up to you how to put these pieces together in your own mind. All right, let's just say you started your clock at 10 o'clock, right? You drove for 5 minutes. So your driving horse and your 14-hour horse is running together. You drove for 1 hour. Yeah, let's just say you drove for 1 hour. Those two horses, line 3 and line 4, are gonna run together. Okay? Remember, the line 4 horse, which is the 14-hour rule horse, is 3 hours behind you. But he's not gonna stop. No matter what you do, he's not gonna stop. And the more you stop, the more he's gonna catch up with you. All right, what was I gonna say? So let's just say you drove for 1 hour. Your 14-hour rule horse is catching up with you. Now let's just say you drove for 1 hour and you took a 10-hour break. The 14-hour rule horse gets a reset. That means after 10 hours, the 14-hour rule has got 14 more hours to get to the finish line. You get it? I don't know how you're gonna put all that together. But yeah. Another scenario is, let's just say you drove for 8 hours, you took your 30-minute break, and then you drove 8, 9, 10, 11, you drove for another 3 hours, and you had no other breaks anywhere in there, right? So at the end of your 11-hour break, you've got 2 hours and 30 minutes available on your 14-hour rule, right? Does that mean you can drive for 2.5 more hours? No, of course not. Another way of saying it is, let's just say you went to work at your office. You punched in. The machine that you're designed or designated to broke down. The rule is, once you punch in, 14 hours later, you got to go home, no matter what. Again, you punch in, you go to your workstation, your machine broke down. It broke down for 7 hours or 8 hours. It only means that you have a lot less work done for that day. And remember, you don't get paid by the hour, you get paid by the production of the number of production that you produce. And in other words, also is, once you punch in, you have 14 hours to accomplish your 11 hours of driving. Or basically all your work. Now, are you going to be able to drive your 11 hours in a 14-hour day? Every day? Of course not, right? Some circumstances dictate that, traffic, accidents, breakdowns. Sometimes the shipper takes 8 hours to load you. That's why in truck driving world, on E-log or on HOS, hours of service, you never want to start your clock until you have to, until you're absolutely sure you got everything ready. Here's a scenario for you. A couple of times that I started my clock, did a pre-trip, and found out one of my tires is flat. Now let's just say I went off duty, right? Let's just say I did a 15-minute break, pre-trip. Now what's going to happen? Well, it took the road service, the tire man, 3 hours to get to me. Or it took them 4 hours to get to me to fix my tires. That was a big mistake. I should have done my pre-trip first, then started my clock. Because if I did my pre-trip first, then I would have found out that I had some tires that were flat or some mechanical problem. I shouldn't have started my clock. So when the mechanic comes over and fixes the problem, then I can start my clock. You got that right? Right. Again, you never want to start your 14-hour rule. By the way, in truck driving, the 14-hour rule horse is always the one to start first, because you never want to be off duty and then drive and go. You always have to do that pre-trip. So the way it always works is on a log graph. From off duty, you always want to go down to line 4, which is your on duty, not driving, and you want to do your 15-minute pre-trip, and that starts your clock. How many times I had to on E-log, by the way, I forgot to tell you, Qualcomm allows me to edit. Let's just say I did my pre-trip and I found something wrong with some of my, let's just say the trailer. Qualcomm, the E-log allows me to edit that 15-minute pre-trip that I did, and I can erase that. I hate doing it because there's a lot of procedures you got to go through, and you got to go into the system and explain why you're editing that part of it. You want more complication, you say? All right, here's another complication for you. Let's just say you've been driving for 6 days now. Every day you've been driving for at least 11 hours a day. Let's just say 11 and a quarter every day. Obviously, you're not going to have a full 11 hours on the 8 days, right? You're going to have, I don't know, 5 maybe or whatever. So let's just say you're running on your recap. One day you wake up and you only have 5 hours on your 70. But you still have the E-log will still say you have 11 hours available to drive. You have 14 hours available to you. But then again, on your 70, you only have 5 hours. Well, obviously, you can't drive 11 hours because you only have 5 hours available. Getting lost in my thoughts here. All right, even though you only have available 5 hours available to drive, you can still try to accomplish that within the 14-hour period. The 14-hour rule still applies. What else is there? All right, let's just say you have 5 hours available on your 70 today. And you started at 1 a.m. 5 hours later, you can't drive anymore. 5 a.m. you went to sleeper berth. Can you now drive 8 hours? No, because you only have 5 hours available for that day. But if you wait until midnight, you will have the hours what you drove 7 days ago. Ah, forget it. I don't know why they complicate those things so hard. It just boggles the mind. Again, that's not the E-log rule. That's just the HOS rule, the hours of service. The E-log is just another form of logging it. Tamarack, the best of West Virginia. You ought to search my video for that place. Tamarack, West Virginia. Very beautiful place to visit. That's right there is the service plaza. Way over there is the Tamarack. Welcome to Beckley, West Virginia. This is still Interstate 64 and 77. We're about 3-4 miles to the split. 77 is going to continue going down south. We're going to go bear left towards 64 east towards Virginia. There, we're coming up to the sign here. Two miles to the split. Bluefield, go south. We're gonna take 64 east. Lewisburg, that's where we're headed for. Towards, anyway. Again, this camera is, this video is recorded by Sony HDR AS 300. I do not have, or never owned a GoPro before. Never even touched one. Now, for those of you out there that watch this video a lot, I never did ask this question. Quality-wise, is Sony and Sony product and GoPro, they have the same clarity, quality? Would you be able to tell the difference between which one is a Sony, which one is a GoPro? I personally think, well, I can't really attest to it because I was going to say I personally think that Sony is a much easier camera to work with. Then again, I can't say that because I've never used a GoPro before. Another question was, which one do I recommend? A Rand McNally or a Garmin? I can't recommend the Garmin because I never used one. I don't have any experience to what a Garmin GPS is. I think he's mad because he got passed by a Freightliner. Right, baby blue? What, the right lane's gonna end? Probably. Alright, we'll catch you guys later. As always, please subscribe, comment, and share my videos to others if you find them worthy. And don't forget to hit that bell thing. And as always, thank you for watching. Have a good and godly day, everyone. Johnny Be Good here. Glorifying God 1 mile at a time. Peace.